Hi guys, welcome back to Irene Tarot Cat. I'm Ren. So this week I worked on this hanging by the lake piece, which I'll share the process of in this vlog. Also this week, Jazz Jay and I had a pool night, a billiards night, which was really great. And we went to Jazz Weekend with Jay in Geelong. Normally there's street performers and things like that, but it'd been raining, so the performances were all spread out across different venues. So we kind of had a walk around and a look around and ended up popping into a gallery, and I vlogged a bit about that. I also share a curry crusted lamb steak recipe, which was absolutely delicious, later on in the vlog, so hang around for that. But mornings have been absolutely freezing. It's like winter now, unfortunately. And in the mornings I get up at 5, sometimes even earlier. I get up, I make coffee, I go over my planner about what needs to be done that day, what's coming up appointment-wise, etc. And then Jay goes off to work, and I've just been hopping back in bed because I've been absolutely freezing, just trying to warm up while the house warms up a bit with the heater on. So I called this painting Hanging by the Lake for obvious reasons. I got inspiration for this piece off an art group that I'm in, where artists show their nature photos to each other, and you're free to use anyone's nature photo. This isn't like the photo, but I was inspired by a tree that was sort of in the forefront of a photo, and I thought, oh, that'd be a really nice lake painting. So that's how I got inspired this week to do this one. I absolutely love how the water turned out. I really enjoy the water in this piece. But to start off, I just started by adding the sky colour, a very rough underpainting of the water, the shoreline reflections, and just a suggestion of clouds, which will obviously be covered mainly anyway. Getting ready to paint, and I discovered all my lovely little plants living their best life, and one of them is growing mushrooms. Look how cute that is. So cute. So as I said earlier, we had Jazz Weekend this week in Geelong. Really disappointing that we didn't get to see any street performers, unfortunately, but there's like this laneway full of restaurants and different bars and venues and things like that, and all the performances were spread out amongst those venues, so we just sort of had a bit of a walk around there, and I vlogged. And then we popped into Geelong Gallery, which isn't a big gallery like the Melbourne galleries that we often visit. But yeah, we thought we'd just have a look and see what exhibitions were going. And it was really funny, actually. A friend of mine in a child exhibit had her child in the exhibit, and I had no idea. So when I got there and I actually walked into the room with the child exhibit, there's this great friend of ours, and I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, there wasn't anything really exciting in the exhibition this week, but it was good to get out and just go and have a look. Pistol Pete's, that's where we went. But they're blues, whereas the performers up there are all jazz. You like it? You like the display? This really does look like a little cat enclosure though, whatever this is supposed to be. These are like, you know, the screens that they use in Asia? Yeah. You know, when they have like the lettering and then they'll have the bamboo? It's like that. Yeah. Yeah, so it would have been nice to see some performances, but hopefully next year it'll be a lot more spread out. As far as the painting, next I worked on the water in this piece, which was quite a bit of work, so I did it in 2 stages. Throughout the afternoon I added all the shadows to where I guess the ripples or waves, whatever you want to call them, would be, and added those in, and then I had to make dinner and do a few things, and we had a really nice dinner. Ended up having some wine, having a shower, getting in my PJs, and then I thought, why not, I'll go back to it and I'll add all the highlights in, so that was good. I'm glad having a bit of wine didn't affect my judgment when it comes to painting and laying in paint. But anyway, another night that we actually had some drinks, and that's quite rare with me. Normally I might have one night a week where I have quite a few to drink, but we had 2 nights this week because we went out to play pool, and we went out and had a lovely dinner with Jazz and Jay. And I love pool. When I was a teenager and young adult, I played a lot of billiards, but nowadays it's once in a while really that I'll go to a pool hall. So yeah, the 3 of us went, had dinner, played some pool, and that was, yeah, a great night. It's gonna be cold, cold, cold.
You spoke about it.
No! What are you doing, Kimber? Are you gonna come with us? Yeah. Cheers. To a good night. Excited for your gnocchi? You look very excited on your phone.
I'm trying to take a photo. Leave me
Oh, okay. Instagram pics.
You leave me here.
Blacker. Alright, this one first. 2 more nights of playing pool and going out and having fun. To us. To us. Cheers. When we got back, Jazz and I actually decided to keep drinking, and eventually when Jay trotted off to bed, we were pumping tunes and we're singing and Jazz is dancing and we're doing shots together, and yeah, ended the night with Uber Eats, which probably isn't good, but oh well. absolutely love spending time with her. But next on the painting, after that, the following day, I laid in the mid-ground trees, a bit of the shadowing, obviously all the foliage to go on the trees. I also spent a little bit of time in the garden this week, even though there's not a lot I can do out there now that the weather's cold. Out the front, we actually have a massive front yard, like it's a lot of work, but I actually don't need to do any work out the front at all whatsoever. I've got a gardener who basically takes care of everything out the front, and that came about, story time kids, basically a few years ago when I was still single. I was in and out of hospital. My front yard was in a bit of a state and it needed a lot of work, but I was in hospital, and my neighbour's best friend was actually a gardener. He's retired now, but he still does people's lawns. And he took one look at my lawn and he said, "Oh, what's going on with your neighbour?" And my neighbour told him, "I've got Crohn's, I'm in and out of hospital." And he said, "Tell her I'm going to do her lawns for free, you know, I'm going to do it for her." So I came home to this beautifully done garden. And he called me the next day saying, "I'll come and do your backyard as well." And I insisted on paying him, and he just would not take any money from me. And he said, "I heard you used to be a chef. If you make me some spaghetti and meatballs, then you know that pays for my work." So I made him this massive batch, and ever since that, he does my front yard and I pay him in food. So if we have ravioli, like last week, I'll pack up 3-4 serves of ravioli, put it in the fridge or freezer, depending if he's going to be at my neighbour's house the next day and he can pick them up. Yes, anything basically, lamb shanks and pastas. Last week we had Rogan Josh, so I packed a serve for him, and he absolutely loves it because all he knows how to cook is sausages. So he's getting a variety of meals, and I've got my front yard looked after, even though now I'm well enough to do it and I'm with Jay, so he'd be happy to do it. But Cliffy, his name is, insists, no, I'm doing the front, that's my job. I'm like, okay, yep, no problem. So yeah, that's how that came about. But out the back I had to pull some veggies out, just yeah, potted around, did a little bit out there. Last of the tomatoes. Little baby pumpkins. Later on that day, I added in the fourth layer into the painting, which for the most part is the foreground tree. The reason I do my paintings in layers is because with oils, if I was to put in this tree, when the background was still wet, it'd all just blend. It wouldn't stand out, it wouldn't look right basically. So with oils, you have to let it dry a little bit and then things actually stand out like they're in the forefront, in the foreground. So yeah, I worked on the tree. So for this week's weeknight dinner, I thought I'd include something I came up with this week actually, only because we had Rogan Josh paste left from last week, and I love Rogan Josh with lamb. So I thought I'll buy a couple of lamb steaks, butterfly them, coat them in Rogan Josh paste, crumb them in panko, fry them. I've served some couscous and a tomato salad, which I know go really, really well with lamb and Rogan Josh on the side, and it was absolutely delicious. Definitely give it a go. So we're going to start off with the lamb steaks. I've just butterflied 2 steaks and I've got a half a jar of Rogan Josh paste from last week. So I'm going to coat the lamb in the Rogan Josh. I've already coated it in a little bit of salt, and then we're going to crumb it in panko crumbs. Once you've slathered your meat in the Rogan Josh paste, we're just going to get some panko crumbs and we're going to just coat the lamb. Make sure you really press in the crumb really well so that it coats it quite well. Then you want to get some oil on to shallow fry the lamb in, and in the meantime we'll prep the couscous. So I'm going to use 2/3 of a cup of couscous to 1 cup of liquid, but you need to really flavour couscous. So I'm going to add lots of good quality chicken stock. I'm going to add some chili flakes, some garlic, some onion powder and some coriander, ground coriander, and also lots of salt and pepper. And then we'll add the boiling water to all that. Just mix in all your spices with a fork while you boil your water. Stir, stir, stir and cover. And just let it do its thing. So into the hot oil you want to go with your lamb steaks. In the meantime, while the lamb cooks, we're going to get our salad done. So I've got equal parts vinegar and sugar in there, lots of salt and pepper, and I'm going to add some Australian mustard. And then to that, today I'm just going to do red onion, capsicum, some baby Roma tomatoes, and a little bit of greens, a little bit of baby gem lettuce sliced, and that's about it for the salad. Once your lamb is done, fluff up your couscous and serve it all up. Add a dollop of fresh yogurt and enjoy. I know the steaks look dark, almost like burnt on camera, but they're not. They go quite dark because the Rogan Josh paste is quite dark in itself, and then as the panko crusts up, it just sort of takes on that dark colour, but it was so beautiful, melt in the mouth. You only really cook it 2 to 3 minutes each side, and yeah, give it a go. But then I finished up this painting this morning. It wasn't a lot that it needed, but it just needed some highlighting. The trunk needed some work and some highlights, and that's about it for this painting this week. So as far as next week, I think I'll probably work on a smaller scale or 2 in the next couple of weeks, so that I am ready for that stall. I've got some random appointments. I've had phase 2 of my root canal done, yay. I've got a few more appointments coming up in the next few weeks for that, and I've got some Crohn's appointments. I've got to pop into the hospital again next week. It's just ongoing, my Crohn's and extra intestinal stuff, but I'm fine. Like I'm doing okay. It's just an ongoing battle really. But yeah, that's about it this week with vlogging and all the footage I have. Thank you so much for joining me and watching this video. I hope you'll join me again next week. In the meantime, I hope you have a great week and weekend, and take care. Bye guys.